Let's turn, I'm delighted to say, to the royal writer Angela Levin, who's had a very long day alongside Rafe Haydel-Mancu, who's also been up since very early this morning to cover events in central London. Angela, welcome.
Thank you.
Nice day?
It's been magic, actually. I feel really happy that I think she sort of brought the whole country alive. There was a feeling there that, you know, everybody wanted to be there. All sorts of people, young, old, in between, every nationality, wearing all sorts of different clothes, which means they have different views. And it was just thronging with people. And after the pandemic, where you didn't go out, and I didn't feel I was ready to sort of socialise much, you know, it's really made me very happy and thinking, well, she always comes up with the right thing, Her Majesty. You know, her words or her being or this amazing event. And it just makes you smile and be happy and lifts your spirit.
You write books, but you also write for the Daily Mail. If you are the editor of the Daily Mail tonight, what is the picture you put on your front page tomorrow?
I'd put the 3 children in there, and especially the one where Charlotte kept putting down Louis's hand because he waved longer than he should have done, presumably, and he kept looking at her, putting it back up again. But she was very maternal, quite strict. You know, takes things very seriously. She's very strong-minded. But the 3 of them were just gorgeous.
And it was quite a thing for the 3 of them to be in this carriage alone. Were there adults in the...
Yes, Camilla and...
They were on the other side of the carriage from them.
The other side, yes. And they were talking non-stop and they loved it. But what was very moving was that when they went to pass the colour, they bent their heads down, as they'd obviously been told to do, absolutely the correct thing. But they all did it without you seeing that Catherine saying, you know, come on now. Yeah. They just held it down. And you thought how beautifully they're being brought up.
But how symbolically as well, because today, obviously, and the next 3 days, the focus on the 96-year-old sovereign, but actually a reminder in that carriage of the future generations of royals that will, in the form of George, we presume, one day be king.
Yes, and then you had Prince Charles, who led the horses out to inspect the troops, and behind him, Prince William, all looking immaculate, all in total control of the beautiful horses. Everybody was cleaned up, you know, everything. And they just moved very slowly forward with the horses. Everything was under control. It had all been rehearsed, discussed. And it was just wonderful to see. So you've got from that age to the little ones who are already learning what sort of life they're going to have. But it's done in a very nice way. And I think they were very excited to be in the coach.
The point about rehearsals is a really important one. I remember watching a rehearsal at about 4:30 in the morning, and it felt like the dead of night. It was completely dark, and all the soldiers were in their green khaki. They'd not got the bearskins or the red tunics on. And these things, that's when it happens. People wonder if this thing all sort of comes together by magic. No, it doesn't. There's a lot of rehearsing going on, a lot of drilling, but it happens in the dead of night.
Yes, interesting.
Amazing. Just in terms of the next 3 days, Angela, I mean, our tribe, journalists, we're not very good at just telling a story straight, are we? And just saying, let the pictures talk for themselves. We're quite good at being ironical and slightly mocking from time to time. It wasn't the day for that type of thing, was it?
Absolutely wasn't. No, it absolutely wasn't. It was a day for huge smiles and twinkling in the eye, and just to have a wonderful time. Actually, what was very interesting is that by the time I arrived, there were so many people there that they got blocks that wouldn't let me go through to collect my pass into the area of Buckingham Palace. And I had to get a policeman, and I had to sort of push my way through masses of people. Normally, someone would yell at me. You know, I was here, what are you doing? How are you pushing in? Everybody they didn't know who I was, but they opened up, they go, oh, you need to go.
They didn't know who you were.
Yeah, they didn't know who I was, I can guarantee it. No, that they just were being friendly. They weren't nasty, they weren't sort of spiteful. They didn't want to say, you know, get in the queue, mate, you know? And I thought this was also partly due to the Queen, that we wanted to behave very nicely.